We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Well, Broncos won't go winless. Bears might. Cowboys bounce back. Are they? They're that great again. Zach Wilson was a quarterback for a day. What a weekend, huh? Oh, and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they call him CMC. You might want to call him MVP. What's up? And good Monday to you, October. Merry October. Balloon Fiesta week of the Burke. How you living, Jeff Symbieta, DC? Glad you're with us this morning. How you feeling?
Good. Those Broncos, man, they make it interesting.
All right, you're a Bronco fan. You're down. What was it, 28-7 in the third quarter? You had to want to puke at that point.
Oh, many of us did.
Did you vomit? So once you vomited, you got it out of it, and all of a sudden, then everything was fine again.
I don't know about fine, but they got the W.
Winners, man.
Winners.
I mean, you guys all told me Russell Wilson was the guy. I played him instead of Geno. And last second, I said, fine, everybody's got to be right. I did everything that I shouldn't do, and I listened to all the crap, and I was like, what am I doing? I still wish I would have played Geno, because I think Geno's going to be better tonight. But he found a way, and then you get a defensive touchdown. Justin Fields looked like a quarterback yesterday. 335 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw the interception. Then he had the fumble that got returned, and the Broncos go and get a late field goal. 31-28, you will not go winless this year.
That's a good feeling, I think. But, when they put up 265 yards in the first half, you really look at that defense. Like, that is the problem.
They're horrible.
They're horrible. They are horrible. And Russell Wilson is not the problem, and I'm kind of happy to say that.
Yeah, I don't know that he's the answer.
Not the answer, but not the problem.
They got bigger problems than Russell Wilson, but I don't think he's the answer. I mean, there's probably 20 quarterbacks in this league that I'd rather have.
At least.
But he's not the answer. The Bronco fan, we'll get into your game. You got a guy named Jaleel McLaughlin. You believing in that?
That was a very pleasant surprise. And
a running back.
Yeah, kind of out of nowhere. For Javonte Williams, it's not a good thing, and for the rest of the running backs trying to get paid, it's not a good thing. But it was very nice. Very nice.
Well, I mean, that's the point, right? It's to your point on the running backs getting paid. Here's a rookie free agent out of Youngstown State who you or anybody else, but he'll be on your fantasy waiver wire this week, and people will be gobbling up Jaleel McLaughlin, 7 carries, 72 yards, and hoping that they find themselves a running back, right? And that is why running backs don't get paid, because you can find a rookie out of Youngstown State and plug him in, and all of a sudden, oh, look at that, we got a dude. So Khalil Herbert was back a little bit. What did you make of Justin Fields in this game?
I thought he looked good.
That was the dude that you expected, right?
That is the guy I expected the whole time. Yep. He was passing with confidence. He was looking through his progressions and making the right choices. Would he go like 18 out of 18 to start the game?
Yeah.
The guy was playing. The guy was playing the way I expected the whole time. So it was, for Bears fans, you got to be feeling a little bit better, but it's
they lost.
They lost,
and you lost to the Broncos.
And you lost to the Broncos, yeah.
Look, and Bronco fan, enjoy a victory. I don't know that this means you're going on a run. I don't think you're very good. Good for Sean Payton. He can, follow up, giving up 70 by beating the Bears, but good for you. And then the team who scored 70 got a little come up and the other yesterday. They go up to Western New York, and this week's best team in the AFC is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my goodness, they look so good. I got to say, their defense is smothering. Josh Allen looks great. They look like a complete team right now.
320 yards and 4 touchdowns without an interception for Josh Allen. He also ran for a touchdown, and they dominated the Dolphins, the team that dominated the Broncos the week prior, the team that everybody was anointing as, and I thought at that point they were the best offense, and they were going into this week. And now, the Bills, because they lost that opener to the Jets, because they lost when Aaron Rodgers went down, they can't be that good. Yeah, they can. And see, in 17 games, there's going to be a game like, I don't know, Arizona beating Dallas. The Jets with Zach Wilson beating Buffalo, like you're going to have them. That's why we only have one team in the history of the NFL, since it's gone to 14 games, let alone to 16 and now 17, that has run the table, gone undefeated all the way through the regular season and the playoffs. That was the 72 Dolphins. And that was, 51 years ago? That's how long it was. And so every week there's something that makes you scratch your head. Now, this isn't that one, and maybe it's Cincinnati, and we'll get into that, the one that made you scratch your head a little bit. Or maybe you're starting to believe in Houston and you didn't believe that they would go out and beat the living steel out of the Steelers, right? But every week there is. And so we overreact on Mondays. Well, the Bills can't be that good because the Aaron Rodgers-less Jets beat them. Yeah, maybe they can be. Well, the Cowboys aren't that good because they lost at Arizona. They're pretty freaking good, dude. They beat the stuffing out of Bill Belichick, his worst ever loss yesterday. So you overreact to 1 week, and we hear, well, if they're that good, they wouldn't have a lapse. Yeah, they all do. They all do. Even the Chiefs do, right? Chiefs barely got by the Jets yesterday. The Zach Wilson Jets. This was easy. This was an easy bet. And if Pat Mahomes gets in, you win the bet. And we'll get there too, right? But I know we do this and we overreact, and that's what you do because they play once a week. And so that's where you got to go with it. But it's somewhat bonkers. And, I don't know, do you feel differently about the Cowboys today than you did a week ago? Because I didn't give up on the Cowboys a week ago. I wasn't ready to say that they're not that good, that they're overrated. They had a week. They went on the road, and they had a week, and they lost last week to, by the way, a way better Arizona team than anybody wants to give them credit for. You feel different about the Cowboys? Or where? They're right there.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Every team has a hiccup, and it's funny when it happens in the first week. You think the sky is falling, but Chiefs lost in the first week. They're doing just fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Bills, they just ran into a weird scenario where in the first week they were all the spotlights were on them, and then when they fall and they look bad, it feels like it's much worse than it really is. But in the end, it's one game.
Yeah, it was one game, and it's I don't know. Everybody's going to have one. Everyone's going to have one. At some point, what do we got? 2 undefeateds left. San Francisco probably is going to have one too. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy's still undefeated, and Christian McCaffrey can go from CMC to MVP. He's just that good. Let me open up for you today because we got so much to do between the college weekend and the pro weekend. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter, JJ's here at _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, you can watch the show Adrian's producing. It's The OD in the AM. You can also watch us on Comcast Channel 26 and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Danny Gonzalez is going to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Lobos get beat up in Laramie 35-26. Tackling. Holy smokes.
Wyoming must have been soaked in butter.
Let me tell you something. I've been to Laramie, I don't know how many times. It was gorgeous. I've never been in short sleeves in Laramie, Wyoming. And granted, I usually go in November or mid-October. It was a glorious day.
It looked fantastic.
The crowd was homecoming. It was Parents' Day. It was just a beautiful crowd. And Lobos score early, get the momentum. and then have the extra point blocked and returned at 6-2. My daughter was with me. She's like, Dad, it's 6-2. I've never seen 6-2. Yeah, it's an odd score. 6-2 is an odd score. And then they just couldn't tackle. And I know a lot of you are upset, and I get it, because losing sucks. They've lost 10 games in a row in the Mountain West Conference, and all of that is right. All of it is right. And we'll talk about the quarterback situation. We'll talk about all of it. But JJ, they went up that I went and saw Air Force too. Boy, is Air Force nice. Fresno State, Air Force, and then we'll see next week when Fresno State goes up to Wyoming. That's the third best team in this league, and they played. They covered the spread, if that means anything to you. The Lobos are getting better. I know it's not at the pace you want it to. It's not deniable that they're better, right? It doesn't matter to you. It just,
Not anymore.
So you're a Lobo fan. I don't give a damn. Okay, I mean that's cool.
I give a darn, and that's why it's so frustrating.
Yeah. No, like
they're not. It's they just push that boulder all the way up,
yeah,
and then just rolls right back down.
Yeah.
Because you finally got an offense that's really good. Now, even before Dylan Hopkins got hurt, they have second half struggles again because he was only 2 for 11.
Yeah, and then
before he got banged up.
Yeah.
So that's an adjustment. That's a next step. But this defense is.
Well, you were right on this one, and this one, I just trusted the system. And you said, they lose Halsey and they lose. I saw Cody Moon at San Diego State the other day. You lose some key players. I thought you've got guys that are going to come in. I thought, there's Tavian Combs and they're going to fill the secondary. They haven't. They just haven't. And the tackling was, astonishing. JJ, look, I'll give all the credit in the world to what Wyoming did, and I'll give them credit for. I think Wyoming's good. Look, that's a Wyoming team that beat Texas Tech earlier this year, that beat Appalachian State the other day, and the way they win is kind of crazy some weeks, and maybe they're having that kind of a year, right? That's a team that went toe-to-toe with Texas in Austin, and I think Harrison Whaley is terrific. I think he's a terrific back. 18 carries, 191 yards, but I don't know, man. I mean, to your point, was he covered in Crisco? It
was when you have 2 one-play touchdowns. One goes for 46 yards, and then the Asante one, 66-yard touchdown, where he essentially catches a pass behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
Cuts across field and scores. He's pulling your hair out. Those are the super frustrating things of a game where, yes, this team is more competitive, but the defense is where the offense was the last few years.
It's really, really. I look at them and I'm like, okay, can they play with San Jose? So this is what's going to be interesting now, because you got the top 3, and then what would you say the next level is? Boise State and UNLV.
Yes, you would.
Okay, Boise State got beat in Memphis. They blew a 17-0 lead, and then UNLV is playing really well. And then I think the rest of it: San Diego State, who you don't play; Colorado State, who you don't play; San Jose State, Hawaii, New Mexico, Nevada. Right? Everybody else can beat Utah State, can beat each other. And so that's why, are there winnable games still out there? You still have to play Boise State. You still have to play Fresno State, both on the road. You got San Jose State coming in. But we'll talk to Danny Gonzalez coming up at 8 o'clock and get his thoughts after looking at the tape. He saw it live, but it was something. Tell you what, though, what a beautiful day in Laramie.
It looked great. It looked great.
It was, I couldn't get over it. I've never been up there in short sleeve shirt. It was like I got out of the car, put on the quarters, and I'm like, "What? That's way too warm." Yeah. Then got down to Air Force and watched Air Force just beat the stuff out of San Diego State. It was 49-10. They beat the Aztecs. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, I've got proof for those of you who are convinced that the NFL is scripted, right? There's those of you, I know people tell me it's just like WWE. I've got proof that it's not, and it involves Taylor Swift. Oh, stop it! I'll tell you next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
So the late game last night was interesting. So many facets, it was interesting. Doug DeRocher came in and said, I purposely tuned out because I didn't want to see Taylor Swift. Okay. Interesting football game. Zach Wilson played well, dropped the ball, literally dropped the ball that ended up in the possession that sealed the game for Kansas City, 23-20. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC. But I got proof. You know, there's people, right? You hear this a lot. It started with Arian Foster. I don't know if it started with Arian Foster. It got a lot of momentum with Arian Foster. This is the NFL is rigged. It's scripted, correct?
Yes.
Like a WWE or wrestling, pro wrestling, or like a soap opera. And I got proof that it is not. Because they missed if it was scripted and they wanted to take this off the field because you could almost say, well, it's scripted. See, they're bringing in Taylor Swift. They're paying her, and she's got a romance with one of the stars who's in almost as many commercials as Patrick Mahomes. And so see, they're scripting it. They missed the plot twist then. They missed it. Because who else were they showing a lot in their suite last night?
Aaron Rodgers.
Uh-huh. And what would have been perfect is if Aaron crutched his way over to Taylor's suite and, hey, what are you doing with that guy? I could be Mr. Perfectly Fine. Send him a text and say, we're never, ever getting back together. And Aaron Rodgers kind of comes in and they have Tay-Raj or something like that, or Taron. And watch him go over and try to, make the moves on that. That would have been the plot twist. So
that's a different writing department.
Well, but it's got to work in
because
concert.
I'm
sorry.
Scripted stuff could have been was that a defensive holding call that took away a chance for the Jets to win the game?
I mean, by the letter of the law, was it? I hate that call too. I
think
think
more just like your normal instance of
kind of grabbed
together.
There was a soft grab. I don't know that it changed the route. I hate the call. Okay, I hate it. Hate the call. So you think it was scripted, and so that department gave the Chiefs the win?
Yes, that's the writing department.
Yeah,
that the NFL is in charge of.
What would be getting more clicks this morning? Tay-Raj or that call? Easy answer. Easy answer. So the writing department's got to get in concert. You think that was a horrible call?
Watching it in slow motion, it's easy to not like the call, but in full speed, when a receiver is tangled up, I see why the flag came out.
Well, his arm was above. There was like a nanosecond hold. There was. His hand was on his shoulder. I hate it because you can make a call on everything, and there's calls that flat out don't get called, and you just wonder why. And the answer is because they're human beings and they're making calls at a game that's going at a really fast pace. I don't like the call either. Robert Saleh lost his ever-loving mind, and I don't blame him for it. Was that the reason they lost? They dropped the football. That kept the drive up. You know what I hate more? I hate that on 3rd and 15, a defensive holding penalty is 5 yards and a first down.
An automatic first down.
I hate, and I've never understood why defensive holding is an automatic first down. Have you?
No.
Does that seem way too penal? Is offensive holding is 10 yards. Make it 10 yards and like a defense or like an offensive holding. That part I hate. Now, was it the ref's fault that the Jets couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and 18 and he picked up 22, or on that last play where he slid and didn't cover the spread but got the first down?
But it takes away an opportunity. Wasn't it 3rd and
it was like 3rd and 18 or something like that. Yeah, no, there's no doubt that was key. It was pivotal. I can't tell you it was the final nail.
The frustrating things as a fan, because then it happens and Patrick Mahomes finishes the game with his legs, but you feel that you were robbed of a shot. As this is a tip your cap to Zach Wilson game.
No doubt.
The dude just sits there and takes it from his teammates, from Joe Namath, from the fan base, from every talking head. And he had the bad moment. Fumbled the football, put it on the ground. Yeah. Rather than that, that's all you want to see out of Zach Wilson, because you saw a defense that actually looked pretty good at times, took the football away. Felt like Patrick Mahomes thought this might be an easy night for Kansas City.
Well, they were up 17-0, and it looked like they were going to put 70 on him, didn't it?
He was kind of just leaving things short, turning the football over.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, he had a couple of interceptions, probably could have had a couple more. And again, on that same drive, right? I mean, on that same drive, C.J. Mosley had one in his hand, and he didn't finish it. So, yeah, that was a bad call. And I'm looking at it again. I don't like it. I really don't. But I can see why it was called. Like, where are you guys on? Where are you on that the defensive? It looked like he had his hand around his shoulder as he got away. Not long. I don't even know if he, and again, hands got to go somewhere, head's got to go somewhere. I don't even know if he altered the route. Now, I will tell you this. That flag came in really late. He didn't throw the flag. I just watched it again. He did not throw that flag until the ball was intercepted. And the holding came about 2 seconds early. Or the incident, there's like, I'm looking 1, 2, 3, and then he throws the flag. So that would have angered me a lot too. Where are you on Zach Wilson now? You want Kirk Cousins still?
I think you still want Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins didn't look that good.
Kirk Cousins doing his best to bring down his trade value.
Holding, man. He's got his arm around it. Like, I'm watching it again. He's got his arm on the backside, right arm, left shoulder. It's brief. I hate it. I don't think he altered his route. I mean, dude threw into triple coverage. So
Holding our illegal contact.
Was it beyond 5 yards? I mean, right? That's where the illegal contact comes? I don't even think it was beyond 5 yards.
I think that's the let him play moment.
I agree with you that I would have preferred let it play. Yeah, but I see what the referee saw. Now, where are you on Zach Wilson?
It's if you're the Jets, it's can you get competitive Zach Wilson more times than not? Because there wasn't even a thought like that existed. It was, you're just looking at one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. The offense is no chance. And now Robert Saleh comes out this week and says, hey, this is why we stick with Zach Wilson. Going to give us a chance. Can you get that a few more times? And you're thinking, you know what? You're going to see the best game of Zach Wilson's career next season or next weekend.
Who they get?
The Denver Broncos.
The Broncos. Oh, this is our week 5. This is your big Nathaniel Hackett.
Perfect for Zach
Sean
Wilson.
Payton game. This is your boy Sean Payton going to be chirping this week? He's coming off a win. Here comes old Nate Hackett, crummiest coach ever. Next to maybe the guy you got now. That's not fair. I mean, you just won a game.
If Zach Wilson goes and wins this game, that's a bad thing for Sean Payton.
Sitting here a week from today, who has a better statistical game, Russell Wilson or Zach Wilson?
Russell's looked good the last 3 weeks.
Russell's playing against to get a better defense next week. Zach's playing against a worse defense next week. Zach's coming off a pretty good game against the Chiefs. Russ is coming off a good second half against the Bears. I mean, I
want to say Zach Wilson.
I do too.
When I watched Justin Fields, the only incomplete pass he threw in the first half was the final pass of the house.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes 16 of 17 in the first half against the Denver Broncos yesterday.
So you think Russ?
In the last two first halves, and so this is the Broncos debacle against Miami.
Yeah.
The terrible start at Chicago. Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Fields combined to go 32 of 33 for 437 yards and 5 touchdowns in the last two first halves against the Broncos.
Give me some Zach. And I'm going to tell you, Nathaniel Hackett's going to have some stuff dialed up this week. You can say what you want about Nathaniel Hackett. By most people's thought, for most opinions, he's a pretty good offensive coordinator. And I promise he's got some stuff ready to jam at Sean Payton this week.
It's his Super Bowl.
This is his Super Bowl. It's been circled since your guy ran his face. Right? Is there a spread out on this? What do you think the spread will be on this? There's going to be a spread. I'll get it to you.
Probably 4.5.
You think it'll be 4.5?
Broncos favorite. Yep.
Broncos by 4.5?
That's my guess. I don't actually know that, but I can't imagine the Broncos would be an underdog in this.
I don't have a spread. How come I got a spread on every other damn game except for I don't know? I'll find you one. I will find you one. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, I mean, Brandon Staley got so lucky. Brandon Staley has had the two teams playing his Charger at the last 2 weekends. That dude, it's contagious. It just has to be charging. It's got to be contagious because last week it was the Vikings and this week it was the Raiders. Oh my goodness, is he a lucky man? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by the Albuquerque Journal.
The Albuquerque Journal and
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Rosendo Najar here, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures.
Broncos are 2.5 point favorites at FanDuel, at PointsBet, at DraftKings. Are 3-point favorites at Caesars to open it up against the Jets next week. Who will have a better stat line? Which Wilson are you on? Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace, Russell Wilson from the Denver Broncos, or Zach Wilson of the Jets? It's hard not to go with Zach because he's playing against the Broncos defense.
That defense looks so bad.
And the Jets defense is pretty good.
They are pretty good. They held the Chiefs. The Broncos are not the Chiefs?
And after the first quarter, it was 17-0. So after that, they held them to 6 points the rest of the day.
Yeah, that has been a good defense. We've talked about that quite a bit, actually. That's kind of keeping them afloat.
I'm riding with Zach this week.
Are you really?
I may pick him up. I'm not going to pick him up.
For a moment, I was like, you are crazy.
No, I'm not good at this. But by the way, we're not good at betting either. I'll get your 3-for-all results here coming to bed. All right, Chargers win again. Brandon Staley went for it on 4th down again late in the game in his own territory, turned it over late. Raiders get all the way down to the 3-yard line, and they're about ready to make sure that the game goes over. Damn it, they're 3 yards, and Aiden O'Connell throws a pick that should have been a pick 6, which would have put it over, and it didn't. Brandon Staley's lucky, dude, and his defense has bailed him out. I would argue that the other team's incompetence for 2 weeks in a row has bailed him out. The way the Vikings handled the end of the game last week, at the end was disgustingly bad. Everybody wants Kirk Cousins, but he botched that thing. And then the way the Raiders handled this, why wouldn't Josh Jacobs was finally running the football. They were finally, for the first time this year, they were running the football. You get down to the 3 with a minute something left. You had a timeout left. I don't think you had a timeout left, but you have plenty of time to run the ball. And you throw a deep out that gets picked off, should have been a pick 6. And good night now, and Brandon Staley survives.
Why? Because it's the Chargers. It's exactly what happens to that team. What's happened to their opponents the last 2 weeks? They outcharged the Chargers.
It's contagious, right?
And that game should not have been that close if you're LA. But if you're LA, the late decisions by your head coach again, but you overcome your injuries. The Raiders, with Aiden O'Connell, you should have been able to put that game away in the second.
Well, and Khalil Mack on him like a dress. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. I don't look. You guys lived through Josh McDaniels as coach of the Broncos. He's the coach of the Raiders. I don't know that I put this on and play with a backup quarterback, but I kind of do, because there they were at the end. They had all. By the way, the crowd was like 75%. My brother was there. I didn't talk to him afterward. He was pissed. But the crowd was a Raider crowd. They had every bit of momentum. They went down the field. The Devontae Adams play was unbelievable, where he got his elbow down. And they're at the 3-yard line, and you throw that deep out, and Asante Samuels is there, and good night now. I just, for the life of me, that's your play call? Josh McDaniels was a really good coordinator, right? There are guys who made careers out of being really good coordinators.
But was he?
Wasn't he? Or is it all Tom Brady? You basically saying you could have done it with Tom Brady, I could have done it with Tom Brady? I mean, he was pretty good.
The Mac Jones year, getting in the playoffs.
The Matt Castle year.
No, the Mac Jones year, getting in the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Josh McDaniels was there.
Was he there for the Matt Castle year too?
I don't know. Don't remember that.
That was when Brady got hurt.
It's one that, outside of that, it is Nathaniel Hackett like.
I just looked at that. Now, look, the difference to me there is they're probably not that good. And you're playing with Aiden O'Connell, who y'all hadn't heard of before Sunday, probably. But goodness gracious, you let, what's his name, old Brandon Staley off the hook again. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks, 2 of which were fumbles. 5th player in history to record 6 sacks or more in a game. Justin Herbert, career lows in completions. He only had 13. Career low in yards. He had 167. They still won. He threw an interception. Now, he scored 2 rushing touchdowns, of course, because he was playing against me. But they survived the injuries. No Jimmy G. Wow. That one, I mean, look, and he survives and they're 2-2. And really, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
All that matters is they're 2-2. And every single game they played, that was the largest margin in one of their games this year. It's been 7-4, 3-2. Every game they play is like that.
So which call do you dislike more? The Chargers' 4th down call or the Raiders' pass call that led to that interception?
I hate the Raiders call because I don't mind. I mean, I expect that out of Brandon Staley. Right? And honestly, I don't even know that I hate that call as much. It was like a foot. I don't even know that I hate it. He gets it, he puts it away. Like
you give yourself 2 shots in that instance. As frustrating as it is when you don't get it from a fan standpoint, well, you get the first down, you're in control of the game. Well, you didn't get it, still play defense. Just like if you're punting the football.
Yeah, and you made a play. You know, it's like I dislike last week's call more than this. The one where he gave the Vikings a chance because it was just 25-yard line. What was this, the 40? I guess it doesn't matter, but goodness, that one was against Kirk Cousins, who you figure is going to come back on you, as opposed to Aiden O'Connell. But they had just come down. O'Connell looked really good on the last possession before that, and he marched down the field. Goodness gracious. Chargers get the Cowboys and the Chiefs the next 2 weeks. How about that? Chargers get the Cowboys. That can't be right. They're off next week, so they get a bye. I was like, don't the Cowboys play the Niners next week? Chargers get a bye, the Cowboys, then the Chiefs. Then they get the Bears and the Jets. What the hell? The schedules are crazy, aren't they? Yeah, all 4 winless teams playing each other yesterday. Like, what was the chances of that? The way the schedule's played out. It's been nuts. It's been nuts. When we come back, freaking Rams almost didn't we gonna get a little Ram it today? I mean, come back win. Can you say Puka Nacua? The Rams with a win. And are the Bengals done? The answer is it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
It still has it a little bit after all these years. You watch the video too? Oh yeah. Big Eric Dickerson. This was almost a disaster, by the way.
Yep.
I mean, so I get a call on the way to the airport. My brother's like, he's going to SoFi. Dude, your Rams are destroying Indianapolis. And I'm like, okay. Kind of looked at it, watched it on the Red Zone. The beauty that you could have Red Zone sitting in the restaurant, sitting on the bus to the airport, for the rental car. God bless technology. And then here comes Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis coming back like that. And you're like, what on earth? This is going to be a disaster. And then Matthew Stafford, who's limping around, finds Puka Nacua, 163 yards. And I believe that to be his first NFL touchdown for Puka Nacua.
Yes, it was.
In overtime. And the Rams get that win, and they're 2-2. Indianapolis was going to go to 3-1 if they won that game. I just want you to think of Indianapolis and Houston would have been the talk of that division. I want to take the Indianapolis side in a minute. For the Rams, what do you think the Rams are? Because they look so good offensively for a minute, and then they shut it down. They found a running back in Kyron Williams until he got hurt. It was Ronnie Rivers in overtime at the end. But 25 carries, which is workhorse stuff for 103 yards for a guy that, again, this is, and JJ, we were talking about this in the first segment. This is like the Broncos, right? I mean, you find a guy in the 5th round out of Notre Dame. This is why running backs aren't getting paid, because you can find a 5th round guy to give you this kind of stuff. The Rams offensively may get Cooper Kupp back next week. They should be okay, right?
They are okay offensively. It starts with Matthew Stafford being healthy, showing he can throw the football, discovering playmakers on that offense. And what are the Rams? The Rams are like a decent chunk of teams that are
okay.
Yeah. Like that's the teams that will be picking, 8 through 19 in the draft. Like you're not terrible.
You're going to fight for a wild card spot.
You could be there at the end of the season playing for the 7th spot to get in the postseason, and you're pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. All right, and then there's the Bengals. And the Bengals got run out of the built again. They beat the Rams on Monday night, and you thought, all right, the Bengals are back. Joe Burrow's back. They're not. He can't move. They got beat by Tennessee 27-3. Joe Burrow threw for 165 yards, 20 of 30. They can't run the football. They can't stop Ryan Tannehill. I'll say it. I think the Bengals are done.
The Bengals are broken. Offensively and defensively.
They're in too good of a division to start out 1-3. The Ravens, they're 3-1. Pittsburgh and Cleveland are 2-2. They're in too good a division to be 1-3 and fight their way back.
And Joe Burrow is a quarterback that I believe in. And when he's on, I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. He's not on. That
he's a sitting
defense was not good yesterday. The Titans made them look like Swiss cheese. Derrick Henry back to his old self, stiff arm in people into the ground, throwing a jump pass, touchdown. And you said it with Joe Burrow, like he can't move. He can't even move in the pocket right now. And he's a sitting duck for that offense that now also lost T. Higgins, broke his ribs. And how do you find your way back in that division?
And Ryan Tannehill was 18-25 on you for 240 and looked efficient. They're in trouble. So for Ryan Tannehill and Tennessee, they're 2-2. That whole division's 2-2. Houston to me is the most impressive 2-2. Who's the best team in that division? Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Tennessee, or Houston? It should be Jacksonville.
Should be Jacksonville, but Houston.
I like them.
Their last 2 weeks, but
they're really interesting.
I tell you, CJ looks good. He's got a bunch of receivers. They're playing defense. DeMeco Ryan's got them playing.
CJ's got a heck of an arm. Just seeing him throw the ball, man, he can wing it around.
He looks terrific. Defensively, they look good. Like I get it. Pittsburgh is really inept offensively, but they beat them 30-6. They went to Jacksonville last week and won. I'm riding Houston a little bit. Tony, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Tony.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to excel, sir. How are you?
Good. I've only had half a cup of coffee, but did I hear J.J. Wright saying when Joe Burrow is on, he's the best quarterback in the NFL?
He said second best.
Oh, second best. Okay, so coffee maybe kind of kicking in, but it's only been half a cup. I feel bad for him. I feel so bad for Joe Burrow because he can't move, man. He can't. Why don't they just take him out, let him rest up? I don't get it. Sitting duck. Perfect example, man. It's sad. It's really, really sad to see him right now back there. Because he can move a little, but it's just not Joe Burrow. It really isn't. But enough about that. It feels good to have a victory Monday. It feels so good to have a victory Monday. Should the game have been that close? No, it shouldn't have. Should Chicago have had that touchdown where was it DJ Moore got 1 foot down to kick the pylon? No, he shouldn't have had that one. But I look at it as the game should not have been that close. Denver just, my God, for 3 quarters, right around 3, made Justin Fields look like an all-pro, man.
Yeah,
they made him look like he was back at, Ohio State? It's so troubling. It's very, very troubling. We saw, the defense did come up a little bit, but I'm still on the fire Vance Joseph bandwagon. He's got to go. He has got to go. Yes, their Broncos had 3 starters out, 2 starters out. Justin Simmons and Josie Jewell. Does Justin Simmons back there make that big of a difference? And he makes a difference because he's a top 3 safety in the league, maybe top 5 safety in the league. But I don't want Vance Joseph there. I want him gone. But a victory Monday is good. I love it. And I'll leave you guys with this. If you guys are questioning Josh McDaniels, hey, is he a good coordinator or is he a good coordinator because of Brady? Can we do the same thing for Belichick?
I imagine.
I can. Because what has Bill Belichick done since Edwards' boys left? Nothing. I like Mac Jones. I've always liked Mac Jones.
Why?
And he's just, I don't know. I've always liked Mac Jones, but if we're questioning Josh McDaniels, can we do the same thing for Belichick? So,
okay.
You guys have a good day.
Later. Yeah. All right. Is that fair? Because a lot of people are out there questioning Belichick right now.
That is fair. I think that is fair. I just think about Josh McDaniels going 6-0 and then missing the playoffs. So I don't put him and Belichick anywhere near the same level.
Well, because Belichick was head coach when they won 7 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. So,
and Tony is right on one thing.
What's that?
That game shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah,
the Bears
that
should have
right.
blown the Broncos out the build.
Kind of the other way, huh? All right, when we come back, we'll talk Lobo football. Head coach Danny Gonzalez is scheduled to be with us. Lobos will have the bye week this week before San Jose State comes to town on the 14th. Coming off a loss in Wyoming to open conference play. Danny Gonzalez next. Looking forward to talking to him about what he saw on video in regards to the defense. We'll get an update on the quarterback conversation. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, in DC on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Olivas going to the corner of the end zone. Nice grab there by Josh Jackson, and that's going to be a touchdown, El Dorado.
Their strong point, their focal point there.
Nelson will keep it himself for some room on the right side. Nelson's on his feet, and he is in. It's a touchdown for Noah Nelson.
Sliding, they slid out of going out there. Linebacker, they're going for the big gutter play. How did he hold on to that, Ethan Olguin? My goodness, a 32-yard bomb. He's going to launch this one long, and it's a little bit short, but what a pull down. Fabian Trujillo. Unbelievable, this man.
Dyer, back to pass. Pressure, he gets out of it nicely. On the sideline, got an open man. It's Labrana. Cheeto made one miss. Cuts back up the middle. Another cut to the right, and he's all the way down at the 10-yard line.
Is that Sweet Pete Jr.?
Right?
That's Sweet Pete Jr. right
What
there.
a move there by Cheeto Labrera.
Second and 1, give it to Gallus. Once again, he evades one tackle, evades two. Breaking into the open, there's a block, bye-bye. And he breaks the last tackle to get through. Jack Gallus with the touchdown.
Happy with his defense so far. Vukovic, and that ball is ripped up. Bernalillo will have this ball at the 1-yard line.
That's the extra yards for Cheeto. Dyer quickly, it's batted into the air, and it is picked off. Rams football as Rio Rancho finally gets the turnover they need as it's tipped into the waiting arms of Vincente Tafoya. Ryan Brown that punched it into the air and allowed Tafoya to come away with it. Let's see if Nelson can make it pay.
Back.
No! LaCueva gets it back on another tip drill. It falls into the waiting arms of the senior Luke Ryder.
Kick is up. It will bounce into the arms of Daniel Garcia, and Garcia explodes through the middle. He dodges Castro, and Garcia will run that one back from about the 17-yard line. Called that one an 83-yard touchdown rush.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets.
Bus. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
That was a beautiful day in Laramie, Wyoming. Lobos opened up, take the opening drive, look great offensively, score a touchdown, go up 6-0, and then the extra point got blocked and returned. It was 6-2. It was an odd score, an odd day, and just kind of odd watching the Lobo defense miss tackles. So and dudes run wild for Wyoming, and 35-26 was the final score. Wyoming wins the conference opener over New Mexico. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. The conversation with Danny Gonzalez is sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Where do you turn when you need legal help? Rudy's experience really cares. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. Lobos are on the bye this week. San Jose State will be in town on the 14th. Danny Gonzalez joins us this morning. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning. We're moving on to the next one because we had an opportunity Saturday and we didn't capitalize on it.
Well, I looked at it and being there and watching it, and I think anybody who did, that's not a team who dominated you, and people think that's one of the top 3 teams in the league. It was just missed tackles and I thought some just mistakes, right? Penalties, mistakes, missed tackles. When you look back at it, and I know you've looked at the video form, what was the issue on all their big plays?
Tackling. I mean, and the way we tackle around here, I mean, we don't break down. We don't try. I mean, we try and tackle with multiple bodies, and that was the biggest issue was bad angles when we were on the run. I mean, our idea was to make Wavy run wide and not get vertical right away, and we did that, except our pursuit angles weren't very good, and our game tackling wasn't very good, and that led to 2 long runs. One, essentially, they were both runs because they completed that pass for about a 2-yard gain, and then he made 6 of us miss and got down the sideline. If we just get him out of bounds, they had a hard time in the red zone converting. I mean, we held them to 4 field goals. They had a hard time converting down there. We just gave up the big plays that went for touchdowns, and that was the difference. We're not complimenting each other on both sides of the ball. When we go out on defense and get a 3-and-out stop, we go down on offense, we give the ball back. We go to score, we let them score. So we just need to compliment each other a little bit better, and we'll have a chance to win these games.
Is that fixable?
Oh, absolutely. The tackling portion of it's fixable. I mean, we luckily we have a bye week. Some of those guys are beat up and banged up, but we can do a bunch of stuff, even in non-pads tackling-wise, pursuit angle-wise, and all those things to fix those mistakes. We haven't had that. Has not been an issue, period. So I was really disappointed with that Saturday.
All right, and then Dylan got beat up a little bit, and there were a couple times where he blitz came in and Eckler got him pretty good. You switched quarterbacks. What did you see from the offensive line in regards to Eckler having those runs at your quarterback?
Two missed blocking assignment mistakes. The very first one, I give Wyoming credit, they did a great job with the disguise, and they're showing 6 up on the line of scrimmage. We knew one of those guys was going to pop out, as they did. The first one they held for a long time, so we had a miscommunication between one of the backs and the linemen. They both blocked in the middle. Eckler came off the edge, and that was the very first one. The second one, we just got a flat-out assignment mistake, and it's coming from Dylan's blind side, the one right before half. That I thought that was a big turning point in the game. I mean, I thought the extra point getting blocked, that was a detailed mistake. That really had us chasing points all day as opposed to it being a 1-touchdown score or a field goal. It was 10 to 12 points, which that 3-point swing was huge. And then, obviously, the turnover right before half on that Eckler sack fumble, we have a chance to tie it at 12-9, and instead we go in down 12-9 at halftime with a little bit of momentum on their side from the caused fumble.
Now, Danny, when you look at the offense in the second half, before Dylan got banged up, he was 2 for 11, and it's a game of adjustments. You're going against their coaching staff. What are some of the things you've seen in the second half, early the last 2 weeks, that you hope offensively in the bye week you guys can clean up?
Obviously they got some more pressure. I mean, those two guys in front, Bertinoli and Godbout, are as good a D linemen as we're going to face this year. They did a really nice job. And then they gave us some pressures that we had a hard time handling. Obviously, they got free on a couple of them and got Dylan clean. We've got to adjust those. But then if you look in the third quarter, we dropped 4 passes that were 15 or more yard gains. We weren't dropping those in the first half. So, I mean, it's execution and concentration from all pieces. And then Dylan's fine. I mean, he'll be ready for San Jose State. He could have played in the end of the third quarter. We thought what we were doing with the one drive when Devin and DC went out there, and then Devin, the quarterback reads and all that stuff, gave us a chance to move the ball and stay in the game and not get Dylan more beat up than he was, because we need Dylan for the next 7 weeks. And, I mean, he's fine.
Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez is with us this morning on the Sports Animal.
Well, I know with Devin Dampier, he's a freshman that's excited a lot of people. You got an opportunity to see him on the field against a really good defense. What impressed you the most about his play stepping up in that situation and potentially what we could see from him at times the rest of the year?
Obviously, it's the things that we've talked about since we recruited Devin. I mean, he's a spectacular athlete. They had a hard time tackling him, but I thought the most impressive thing was to do 2 touchdown throws. And the one to Jeremiah in the corner, that was a laser that was right on point. And then the one to DJ at the very end, they sent 7 guys, and Devin was able to backpedal a little bit before he made the throw to give DJ a chance to get out of his break. I mean, Devin's got some intangibles that make him special. Now, he made a couple mistakes on a couple of those drives that are true freshman mistakes. I mean, there's one that he could have pulled, and he might still be running. But, I mean, that was his first live action in a meaningful game, and I thought you have to be excited about what he brings to the table, and we'll present some packages as we continue down the path during the season.
What was the thought process? You said you just Dylan was hurt. You need him for the rest of the way. When you saw Devin in there, and Tapscott got a couple of snaps as well. When were you looking for the hot hand out of one of those two? When you got into the third, fourth quarter, when you were changing quarterbacks, what was the thought process between you and Coach Vincent?
Well, Dylan obviously got banged up pretty good right there, and with what they were doing, I mean, we dropped a few passes in the fourth quarter. I mean, in the second half, that one of those two guys was going to give us a chance to be successful. We had some zone read stuff dialed up for Devin. DC went in first, got the quarterback scramble, got the late hit, and then we put Devin in. The guy that he pulled the first one on, he had about a 3-yard. I mean, that should have been a hand read, and Devin was like, I'm going to make this dude miss, and did. And so we knew we had a little something right there, and Devin, he's very confident in his abilities, as he should be. So we decided to ride that, and then we drove the ball right down the field, and it gave us an opportunity to score and get back in, and then we stopped him and got the ball back. Devin was giving us that chance right there with Dylan being a little bit beat up. That was the stuff that was working in the second half, so we stuck with it.
Now, Danny, with Tavion Combs, there's never a question with his heart, with his effort, and the play that he chased down the running back on one ankle, preventing a touchdown when it looked like, all right, here we go again, another big play, and he chases him down the field. How do you kind of show everyone on that defense, like, this is what you guys need to do. This is the effort that you have to bring, because that was a very impressive play.
It was an impressive play, and that's one of those things that on the 46-yard run, after we threw the interception, I mean, that's going back to the complementary football. When we go interceptions, defense job is to go out there and stone them, not give up a one-play touchdown. We had 2 guys that took bad angles. If they take the right angle and we knock them down at the 20 or 18-yard line, there's a chance we're going to hold them to a field goal, a high likely chance. And that's what Tavion did. Now, Tavion showed how fast he is, even when he's not. I mean, Tavion's about 90% healthy. He caught Whaley from behind and at the 10-yard line, and we were able to keep him out of the end zone. That gave us an opportunity to stay and have a chance to be a one-score game with a minute if we get that onside kick. So, I mean, that's how Tavion plays every single play. That stuff is contagious, and he's the leader of that group, and he's trying to bring those guys along.
A few more minutes with Lobo football coach Danny Gonzalez. Lobos are on a bye this week. We'll get San Jose State the following week on the 14th at home. So how do you approach a bye week almost midway through the season? You're 2-3, 5 games in, we 7 left. A team coming in that I know you see as an opportunity, and obviously things to clean up specifically defensively. So the goal this week during the bye week is what?
Well, obviously the biggest thing is to get some of the guys healthy that are beat up. I mean, we're the brand of football that we play, and Saturday was a very, very physical football game on both sides for both teams. Get some of those guys banged up, but there's some developmental things that we can do that we will be a big focus. Obviously, the pursuit angles and tackling portion of that we can correct and adjust, and then offensively keep installing and keep getting better at what we do. I mean, we come out on that first drive. I mean, that thing was beautiful. We let the extra point get blocked, so we lose some momentum right there. But going out there again, we get a 3-and-out. We got to go down and score again and give ourselves some breathing room and just keep going instead of dropping passes and making mistakes. So those are things that we'll focus on this week. The biggest thing is health issue. I mean, we'll get Luke Weiss on back, which will help after the bye week. Tavian and Alec, who are a little bit beat up just for the style of football they play, this 2 weeks will be really good for them to see them at 100% for the first time since probably A&M. Those things are vital. And then San Jose State, Chevin Cordero, he was the Offensive Player of the Year preseason. He makes every throw. So we'll use that time to prepare for them and be ready to go for our next one.
And I'm looking around your league, and I went down and I saw Air Force in person. I saw Wyoming in person this week. I've seen a bunch of Fresno State. It feels like right now, and I don't know how you feel about this, there might be a little bit of a separation. I just saw Fox is picking up on Fox over the air. The network has got 6 o'clock. They're going to run Fresno State at Wyoming this week, so they seem to think so too. Do you feel like there's a separation maybe with the top 3, Air Force, Fresno State, Wyoming?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think obviously Air Force did something really special. I haven't had a chance to watch that game, but 49-10 over San Diego State in Colorado Springs. I think Fresno and Air Force had separated themselves early, and obviously Wyoming is in that talk with the they had Texas 10-10 in the third quarter. Texas Tech, they come back from 17-0. I mean, that's the frustrating thing for us is we were toe-to-toe with Wyoming. We give up 2 big plays, and that's the difference in the game. So obviously got to eliminate that. But I think from edge of Wyoming down to the bottom of our league, I mean, that's who our league is. It's a very competitive league, and anybody on any weekend has a chance to win.
All right, lastly, headed into the bye week, you looked into your guys' eyes. They played a competitive game. They get beat. They made some mistakes, obviously big plays. Where's your team above the shoulders with 7 games to go and still some goals in front of you?
Oh, every goal that we've set in front of us is still in front of us. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. This team has something a little bit different than what we've done here the last few years. The determination. I mean, obviously we have to clean some things up, but they came to work yesterday. Obviously a little depressed from what happened Saturday. They were hurt in the locker room after the game, as they should be, but they'll show up tomorrow morning with the right attitude to get ready and use this 2 weeks to get ready for San Jose State. And the next 7 games are going to be just like Saturday. If we can eliminate the plays that are killing us in bad moments, take care of the football, we'll have a chance to win the next 7.
Yeah.
It'll be. I mean, it stinks being so close and sound like a broken record, but we've got enough talent to continue to improve and win some football games.
When you go to an atmosphere like that, and I this isn't X's and O's, but you're a college football guy and you've been in some great atmospheres, you've been in some great places. I know it was homecoming and parents' weekend, and I've never been in short sleeves in Laramie for a football game in my life. I thought it was beautiful up there. But I thought the atmosphere, I thought they did a nice job. When you walk into that, do you like that? Would you rather be in a place that the crowd isn't as into it? Because I thought the atmosphere up there was kind of college football.
Oh, it's very college football. I mean, as you're going to the stadium, I mean, Laramie is in my opinion, Laramie's a cool town. I mean, you climb it, you drive in there on the buses, and you see nothing but Cowboys. You got the Wyoming Cowboy Federal Credit Union. I mean, everything is based around that. It's a college town. I mean, that's what they have there. And I think they believe, one, they've been playing good football, so everybody was there. The tailgating was great. It's a lot more fun playing in an atmosphere like that than what we had last week at Massachusetts when nobody's there. It was exciting for our kids. It was a great crowd. I mean, shoot, it's 12-9 at halftime. It was a great football game. It's a one-score game with a minute to go in the game. The crowd was into it the entire day. I don't think it affected our kids in a negative way at all, but it makes it a more exciting environment. It's what college football should be. It's what we aspire to have.
Appreciate the conversation. Good luck this bye week. We'll catch up with you again next week, but appreciate you spending some time with us.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you for all you guys do. Let's show up for our game against San Jose State. Thanks, guys. Go Lobos.
See you. Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. Conversation has been sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal and experienced care for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. It was they kicked a field goal right at the end, right? So it was a one-score game until the end. And Danny talked about it. You can respond. Missed tackles. This was it. I've got a couple emails saying, describing the loss in a bunch of different ways, and I'll read them for you. I mean, I don't know what a good loss is. There isn't one. But this wasn't to me an overwhelming loss. It hurts because you're right there, and I get it, and I know where Lobo fan is, and you need to get over the hump.
Yeah, for the struggles this team has had defensively, they're able to stay in games because of the offense. And this is a game that, last week Danny was talking about Lobos don't win that game. They find a way to lose that game. This is a game that in the years past that this ends up being a 35-10 game.
Yep.
And not even with the big plays against the Lobos finding a way to stay competitive in the second half.
All right, you can respond to that. I want to reset some of the stuff in there, the quarterback conversation, and really the defensive stuff, some of the things he hit on that. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670. Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
JJ, we went into this season, and I remember I said, I think they're better because I believe that the defense will be good because it has for, I've watched this system for years, right? For 2 decades plus, and the system works. And I believe offensively, bringing in Brian Vincent, Dylan Hopkins, I thought they would be better. And you were concerned about the defense because of personnel, and you're right so far. This is a personnel issue, correct?
Yes, it is.
And so this is what you got. Do you think the tackling wasn't this bad before this week? And Danny said that just now. He said, it hasn't been an issue before because I asked him, is it correctable? And he said, of course it is, because, it wasn't that way before. Is it correctable from where you sit defensively?
Tackling feels like one. You can be a little bit more physical in practice for a week. Talk about angles, talk about how you fill gaps, because there were a couple, as Danny pointed out, you had the safeties running up, and all right, this is your job. You got to fill this hole, and they whiffed. And thus, dude is gone. So those are things that you can work on. It's the big plays against in the passing game that...
This was running game.
No, but if you're saying what's correctable,
yeah,
you can hold out hope that angles, understanding assignments, how you fill a gap versus a running back one-on-one is stuff you can work on. But now that's 2 things that we see with this defense,
which is coverage deep and then just tackling.
Yeah.
I was just watching some of the
because you're going to give up plays. It's right in a football game,
it's football.
But when you look at how they gave up some of them, it is incredible.
Yeah, I was just watching some of the highlights again. I mean, you got a guy stuffed in the backfield, and 2 guys put their hands on him, and he gets away, and then he gets out around the wide side. And like Danny just said, push him out of bounds, for crying out loud. He's right on the sidelines. This was an odd one because I look at Lobo defenses over, even when they haven't been good, Lobo defense is something that you can say, all right, they're not going to, that you give up 1, but not a bunch of them. And that was one that concerned me. I think they moved the football. They ran the ball well. I think they got a good back in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I am concerned about the way they picked up those blitzes, offensive line-wise. I think
they got fooled twice.
I think for the most part, their offensive line has been decent, right? Decent to good. But that's a tough one.
So here's what shows you why this offense is real. And it's something to believe in moving forward. So the big plays, Wyoming, they had 2 that they scored on. 46-yard touchdown run, the 66-yard reception, which was essentially a run as Danny Gonzalez was talking about last segment. But in the game, so they quantify on the box score big plays as passes of 15 or more yards or runs of 10 or more yards.
Okay.
So Wyoming had 3 passes of 15 or more yards. They had 5 runs of 10 or more yards. The Lobos had 6 pass plays of 15 or more yards and 8 runs of 10 or more yards.
Okay.
Like the Lobos are getting big plays.
Yep.
but it's two of those big plays were one-play touchdowns for Wyoming.
505-246-0610 if you want to get in on what you heard from Danny Gonzalez. Lynn says, out of sight, out of mind, Jeff, after an ugly road loss, this is a disastrous time for a bye week. It's October, so focus will shift this week into a hyped Lobo basketball. There's going to be nobody in the stands by the time Lobo football resumes. I mean, when would you rather have the bye? I pick your time for a bye. I don't know if this is a disastrous time. I like my buys in the middle of the season. Would it have been better coming off a win? Sure. Would everything have been better coming off a win? Sure. This is from James, who has been on Danny. He doesn't like Danny. He said Arkansas State 52, UMass 28. Unbelievable. UMass was a 2.5-point favorite. No more con from Danny. Gone. Okay. When is this is interesting. Bruce is in on New Mexico State on this. When is Jerry Kill going to face some music for losing to UMass, Jeff? I don't care how many mercenaries the Minutemen have. They just aren't that good. That was a bad loss. Pumachan back yet? Was he back this week? They had a different. The quarterbacks, make the difference. They had the quarterback from Clemson when they beat New Mexico State. It was a bad loss. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was a good loss. They got beat 41-30.
I can ask that question about a couple things in New Mexico State.
What?
When is anyone to face the music?
All right. Dylan Dampier, Gopher, says, the good news, Jeff, is Lobo football might finally found their future quarterback. But OMG, what is Danny Gonzalez thinking of playing him now? From now on, every time Cody Hopkins, or that would be Dylan Hopkins, struggles, Lobo fans are going to be crying for the freshman. Maybe. Go for what? So you shouldn't have got him out there and see what you got?
This is.
I don't understand.
You can't redshirt anybody anymore. Like, if you have someone that can play, they better be playing because they can leave regardless. Ooh. And so get a player out on the field. And Devin Dampier, he's exciting. And what I think makes him a part of the offense moving forward is you're not benching Dylan Hopkins. Dylan Hopkins was really good in that first half. But that's back-to-back weeks at the start of the second half, the offense has struggled. Now, Danny Gonzalez mentioned there were some drops in the third quarter. But so you look, and that's why Dylan Hopkins was 2 for 11 in the second half before he left getting banged up. Because the one thing that I'm impressed with Dampier is it's not as simple as, he's in the game, so it's a read option. Those are 2 good touchdown throws.
Yeah, which is what it's funny, the Wyoming Radio Network was saying, well, I mean, that's all he does. Looks like the old Lobos again, the old Bob Davie Lobos. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. So, all right, if you're there, stay there at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610, and for whatever reason you pay a toll. Take your phone calls. You've got a couple lines open if you want to get in on that. We're going to get back in the NFL. We'll do the Red Zone at 9 o'clock this morning. Hit some of the big stuff. I got biggest winners and losers of the NFL weekend. We got to go through our results, which are typical from our 3-for-all. We're not very good at this. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, you're home for Thursday night and Sunday night and tonight football.
You may
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in.
That was a wild day.
Yeah, it was. Kind of always is on a Sunday, isn't it? 505-246-0610. Rudy, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Good morning.
Good morning. Wow, what a weekend. So I went out to the chili roast yesterday. UNM alumni got some great green chili out there. Had a green chili cheeseburger and celebrated everything about fall in New Mexico.
Beautiful.
And, yeah, the game Saturday, you got to clean up those little mistakes. And I was taught in life, you always see the big things coming, don't you, Jeff? Don't you, JJ?
You
see the big things coming. You don't miss the big things. It's the little things that can trip you up. And it was little things once again. Look, this is a team that can take the field with just about anybody and not be ashamed. You just have to clean up those mistakes and concentrate. And it's not even effort so much as concentration and taking the correct angles. Meanwhile, I don't know about you, but I don't know if there's anybody better in the Mountain West than Air Force. You saw that, Jeff. They took San Diego State apart.
Yep, no doubt. I think Fresno State's going to be pretty good too. Air Force looks really, really nice.
But Air Force has something that I haven't seen, and Air Force has been good for a long time. But they have, I don't know what you call it, but they play vicious football. I mean, those guys are vicious.
So it's as good as I've seen them
no
defensively.
prisoners.
Yeah, it's as good a defensive Air Force team I've seen in a long time, and they're pretty good. Quarterback can throw the ball. They busted some big pass plays on San Diego State. They just dominated San Diego State.
I did not think that they would dominate the offensive and defensive lines against San Diego State, because that's been San Diego State's bread and butter for a long time. And so finally, my final thoughts about college football is Michigan's rounding into shape. Nebraska just got waylaid at home. They had built up for that game, 86,000 people all dressed in red, and it was over in 10 minutes.
Yep, they're good, and they're in a great spot right now. All right, Rudy, good to hear you, and thanks.
You too.
I had a bunch of green chili in my freezer. I got home yesterday, went to put some in there. Somehow the freezer in the garage got unplugged while I was gone, so I had to empty everything out of the freezer. Yeah, and there was some green chili there. It stank too. Yeah, I had to empty it. Yeah, that was a bummer. Since we're on the college football stuff, what about Prime? What about Colorado? I told you they'd cover. I told you it would be 40-something, 20-something. It was 40-something, 40-something. 49-41. I thought that was probably my favorite bet on the whole weekend was Colorado to cover, because I really believed they would score points against SC. SC put up a bunch early and stopped scoring.
Stop playing defense too.
Well, that's what they do though. They're so not good defensively. 49-41, SC wins. But it was almost more about what Colorado did in losing than it was about what SC did in winning, wasn't it?
Making it look respectable late, getting within a touchdown. That's why you can't trust USC as a true national championship contender, because of the holes they have defensively. That should have been an easy victory.
And it looked like it was going to be, right?
It should have been. Yeah. And for CU, it looks a lot better to have that game, to have that score than what happened at Oregon. And the rally for Colorado is when they get Arizona State, Stanford. That's how you get bowl eligible, and you go play a bowl game.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it was a lot about them. Some crazy stuff in college football over the weekend, and I don't know which one really bothers you the most, or you like the most, or was the craziest. Georgia getting by Auburn. Auburn had a shot to shake this whole thing up. Weren't able to get it done. I was surprised Arizona played Washington so tight. The end of the Duke Notre Dame game, goodness gracious, Duke had their opportunity to really climb onto the stage and wasn't able to get it done. That Ole Miss LSU shootout, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin beating LSU and I mean, you figure the last one who has the ball almost was that way. Ole Miss, that's a huge victory for them, 55-49. That was sensational. So there was some stuff on the national scale. And then your conference scores for the Mountain West, if you didn't get them all, it was Fresno State 27-9, as you told me, JJ. Nevada got a backdoor cover. Utah State blocked an extra point at the end of the game to win at UConn, 34-33. Boise State had a 17-0 lead on the road at Memphis and lost, 35-32. UNLV continues to roll. They beat Hawaii 44-20. Colorado State got a win at home over Utah Tech, former Dixie State, 41-20. And the Air Force win San Diego State 49-10. They beat the Aztecs. and roll them. So next week, this just came down this morning. Wyoming and Fresno State will be on Fox. Wyoming is 4-1. Fresno State is 5-0. Fox, 6 o'clock our time. That'll be a national game on Fox. Colorado State will be at Utah State, and San Jose State plays at Boise State next week. And the rest of the teams are off next week, including New Mexico. You get football on Wednesday this week. Aggies play Wednesday of this week. I'm checking to see. I'm trying to figure out if Jerry Kill is going to be with us tomorrow or not. I don't know the answer. I've reached out to them this morning trying to get somebody with us tomorrow, but checking to see on that, JJ. But now we'll start, because it's October, we are going to start the weekday games for Conference USA. So it'll be interesting on that. Did get this. Way too many drop balls by lower receivers. This is on the text line. They average 5 to 6 drop passes per game. Find someone who won't drop the damn ball. That's what this says on the text line. Somebody else on the text line says, Jerry Kill's been at New Mexico State for a year and a half and is 2-0 versus UNM. That might be why Jerry doesn't have to face the music, as that other emailer said. By the way, Danny's spinning hard. The San Jose State game is a must-win because UNM's not beating UNLV, Fresno State, and Boise. Those are going to be tough games. How good is Boise State? They've lost some tight ones now. They lose on a last-second field goal at home to Central Florida. They blow a 17-point lead and lose by 3 at Memphis. And they won by 3 at San Diego State. What was their other loss? It was Washington ran them. Washington beat them up.
Boise State is not the best team in the Mountain West Conference, but Boise State, against San Jose State, Colorado State, New Mexico, Utah State, people eligible, but they're not a Mountain West contender this year.
No, I don't think they are either. I think the best teams are Fresno State, Air Force, in whatever order you want, and we're going to see what Wyoming is. Like, Wyoming's got a real opportunity now.
Wyoming gets them in Laramie.
They get them up there on national TV. I bet that place is going to go hysterical on Saturday night. Right? The fact that you got a Fox game, a national game, up in Laradice against the Fresno State, they're going to go hysterical up there next week. And I'm just telling you, they're a physical football team, man.
Laramie.
What's that? You don't
Laramie.
like it? You don't like Laramie?
Who do they think they are? Laradice talking down to us.
Oh, you mean on the pregame show? Yeah, I was listening to the pregame show coming in. They got a guy on their radio network. I was going into Laramie and just talking about, how do you get kids to go to Albuquerque? Yeah, that's rough. Have you been there? I mean, I'm like, really, man? Who are you talking down about? Like, really? Yeah, it was something. All right, when we get back, I'm going to go through some NFL stuff. I've got my biggest winners and losers of the weekend in the National Football League. And we got to go through the 3-for-all results. 9 o'clock, we'll get into the red zone. You're welcome to get in at 505-246-0610 here on the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Thursday night and tonight football. Got family coming into town. You probably cleaned the house, didn't you? Right? You got the house ready for the company. You get your car ready. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do that for you. That's what they do. They clean your vehicle. They detail your vehicle. And they do it when it's convenient for you. Where it's convenient for you, that means they come to you. That means you don't take it to them, sit around, wait, go pick it up. None of that garbage. They are great at what they do. It is as good a detailing job as you will find anywhere, and it's done at your convenience, where you are ready for it, when you are ready for it. What does it mean? Inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood, under the seats, a clean that you can't get. This is as good as it is when you pick up the vehicle when you first buy it. When you roll it off the lot. Remember how fun it was? That's what this is all about. They give a 10% discount to our military and to our teachers, and this is a great gift as we go into gift-giving season. Everybody will love this. Call and take care of one of your biggest investments. It's your vehicle. On the Spot Automotive Detailing at 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859 or online at otsdetailing.com.
My life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Rosendo Najar here, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife. And our daughter. they didn't make.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
It almost sounds like the top of the hour music, no? All right. I was like, wow, we're at a different spot. All right, let me give you the biggest winners and losers of the weekend. I would give you the U.S. Ryder Cup team as the biggest loser, but well, that was a bummer, huh?
Big old L.
I mean, but we're talking NFL, and then I'm going to go to the phones, 505-246-0610. Jeff, JJ, and DC. All right, NFL stuff. We start winners. We give you my three biggest winners of the weekend. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That wasn't on your radar, was it? Dude, they're 3-1. They beat the Saints, who everybody's favorite in that division was the Saints. Baker Mayfield is not messing things up. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's great, but 25 of 32 for 246 and 3 touchdowns with an interception, and for them to go into first place in that division and beat a division foe, I got them as my number 3 winner of the weekend. Number 2 on the weekend is Houston, because they've won 2 in a row. They are also tied with everybody for first place in that division. They beat the stuffing out of the Steelers, shut them down, and their young quarterback looks like an NFL quarterback, C.J. Stroud, 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. And my number 1 winner of the weekend is the Bills. The way they handled the Dolphins and made a statement, and that Dolphins team, who everybody had as the best team in the AFC, coming off of 70 points. Defensively, they did something that nobody's been able to do to Tua Tagovailoa and that track team. They shut them down. My number 1 winner of the weekend is the Bills. You got a problem with any of that?
No, you are right on. This is the best 3 you've picked all year long. The right 3 winners.
All right, well, let's see how I did on losers. My number 3 loser of the weekend is Vegas. I mean, the way they went down, where it puts them in the standings, it hurts them. But the way they lost, and I say that understanding that they played with a backup quarterback, but they were right there in position to win. They finally got their running game going. They played really well defensively against Justin Herbert. They had the ball at the 3-yard line ready to punch it in. I almost went with Washington here because they had a chance, but they were playing the Eagles, so it's not as big of a loss. But I got them as number 3. My double up is Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh as the number 2. What has happened? Offensively, they have been inept to go, not just get beat at Houston, but to get beat like they did. I think they're in big trouble. And my number 1 loser of the weekend is Cincinnati. I think they're done. They put up 3 points. They get hammered. 27-3 to the Titans. They didn't lose to the Bills, to the Dolphins, to the Chiefs, to the 49ers. The Tennessee Titans punished them 27-3. Their quarterback's limping around and is a sitting duck. I got the Bengals as my number one loser. You okay with those?
The one I probably would take off would be Vegas. I know it's.
Who would you put there though?
New England.
Okay,
I know
actually,
that's
really
we
good.
differed on that going into the weekend.
You know what? That's really good.
And they were an underdog in that game, like almost a touchdown underdog.
Yeah.
But they were embarrassed, and I did not expect them to
you know
get
what? That's fair.
Embarrassed. And say what you want, we've had the conversation about Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels, or Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. I expected them to at least be competitive.
Yeah, I know you did.
Defensively.
All right, I don't want to argue with you on that. New England could slide in that spot, and I wouldn't hate that. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Maybe you missed the Bears losing the Broncos.
It's a bad loss too, man. There's no good losses, but the Bears are the Bears. I mean, it's like not that they were going anywhere, but I'll give you that because that was their chance. Bears are not good.
And then to reiterate, was that the worst Ryder Cup I've ever seen?
I don't know. Was it?
Yes, it has been since I've been watching. It's the worst. I mean, USA team looked out of sync, terrible. Can't wear a hat. Even the Americans moaned and groaned. They couldn't drive. They couldn't putt. Rory McIlroy, gosh, does that guy cry a lot or what? The setting is a weird golf course, but just the showing was horrible. Couldn't get interested. A lot of unknown players. The next 4 years, I don't know what kind of Ryder Cup we're going to have, but or next whenever Ryder Cup comes along. But that'll do it. Thank you.
All right, Marty. Thanks. Good to hear you. It had been a minute since we heard from Marty too. Ryder Cup, Europeans won. It was kind of weird. Did you see the concession Ricky Fowler gave Tommy Fleetwood a 2.5-foot putt to concede? Really, the entire Ryder Cup. It was to concede his match on 17, and he would have made it anyway. It was weird the way it ended. It was weird the way it all went down. It was. But I'll tell you what, the Europeans were chipping in from everywhere. Rahm was sensational. All of them. Hogard, all these guys. They kicked the tar out of us. Hovland was great. Yeah, they win it. They win it. All right, when we come back, here on the Sports Animal, we got Red Zone. I got to give you the results of the 3-for-all. We're open for you at 505-246-0610. Yeah, JJ, good call. I mean, New England probably was a bigger loser than Vegas yesterday because they just got pumped. The way the Raiders lost, sitting right there, knocking on the door and giving it away and charging it against the Chargers. But I'll go either way on that. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This is Palmer Science with the CBS.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back it up.
Well, Cowboy fan, we haven't talked a lot about you. How you feeling?
Great.
I mean, you got to be, right? You kicked the stuffing out of the Patriots. Made Mac Jones look like, I don't know, Mac Jones. Dak went for 261 and 1. You ran the ball. I mean, but defensively, you were really good. They had 223 yards of total offense. I'm sorry, 253. The Patriots ran the ball for 53 yards. Zeke coming back, 6 for 16. And the Cowboys win 38-3. Feel a little bit better about that coming off of that loss?
Probably. This is, if Dallas is going to be a legit, get to an NFC championship game for the first time in forever, it's all about that defense.
100%.
Takeaways, scoring points. Back there doing it again.
All right, we're going to get to Red Zone here in a minute. Let me give you results of the 3-for-all. 3-for-all on Fridays, the three of us, just look at it. Pick 3 games. Not here's 3 games that you got to pick. No. Any 3 on the board, pick your favorite 3. This is really to illustrate how hard betting is. So going into the weekend, JJ was 3-6, I was 6-3, and DC had a bonus loss. He was 1-9. JJ, you took Baltimore plus 2.5 to beat Cleveland. You were a winner. Dorian Thompson-Robinson certainly helped you with that. You took Kansas City minus 8.5. Should have won that, but Patrick Mahomes slid short of the goal line. They didn't cover. You lose. You took New England plus 6.5 at Dallas. You got smoked. You went 1-2 on the weekend. You're 4-8 overall. DC, you took the Jags minus 3 over Atlanta. You were a winner. How about that? You got one. You took the Panthers plus 4 over Minnesota. You lost. You got beat pretty good on that. And you took the Browns minus 2.5 over the Ravens, and they got beat 28-3. You went 1-2 on the weekend. You are now 2-11. 2-11. I took the Rams in a pick 'em over the Colts. 1. I took the Chiefs minus 8.5 over the Jets. Again, Mahomes sliding cost me that I lose. And I went over 49, Chargers and Vegas. They were knocking on the door, but didn't get it. So I went 1-2. So I'm 7-5. JJ, you're 4-8, and DC, you're 2-11 going into next week. It's hard.
I just doubled up.
This is great.
This
is so good.
And we're not trying to lose, even because if we tried to lose, we'd win.
It's the perfect just radio shtick of these. I have no idea what they're talking about. Why am I listening for 3 hours? And here you go.
It is, right? It just shows you how freaking hard this is. All right, let's go into the red zone.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Are you crazy? I'm saying you're a football player. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Tom Brady this game.
You're in the red zone with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Let's go, baby!
It's 1st and goal.
All right, I think we can all agree that Christian McCaffrey's on a different level. CMC has scored a touchdown in 13 straight games, including 4 last weekend versus Cardinals. A non-quarterback has not won the MVP since 2012 and only 3 times in the last 20 years. Moving forward, what will Christian McCaffrey have to do to win the Most Valuable Player award for 2023?
He's going to have to continue to put up numbers like this. I think at some point you look at quarterbacks, right? And whether it's going to be Tua, whether it's going to be Mahomes, Josh Allen's numbers, the way what he's doing, he's going to, stay healthy and continue. He doesn't have to score 4 a week. But if the Niners are the number 1 seed or the best team overall, and they very well may be, and he continues to be this consistent, there's a real conversation, and I think there might be some momentum with the voters towards the end. Yeah, you get the fatigue of always voting for Michael Jordan or voting for LeBron. There might be some fatigue towards the end of always voting for a quarterback and get him some consideration.
What he has to do is he has to have more total touchdowns than any other offensive skill player. And he has to surpass 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards.
1,000?
Yes.
Okay.
We're talking MVP to beat out a quarterback.
Okay.
And Christian McCaffrey in 2019 rushed for 1,300 yards and had 1,005 yards receiving. So So if you want to be an MVP, those are the things that's going to keep you on the list.
2nd and goal.
In the AFC East battle between Miami and Buffalo, Josh Allen showed up in a huge way. The Bills quarterback was the best player on the field by far, picking apart Miami's defense with 320 yards on 21 of 25 attempts, with 4 touchdown passes and a perfect 158.3 passer rating. Is Josh Allen the best quarterback in the AFC?
No. As long as Patrick Mahomes is in the NFL, you can't be the best quarterback in the AFC or the NFL. But what Josh Allen is showing you is that narrative that, the window is closed, and I don't know about Josh Allen and trust him, it's a bunch of bull junk.
Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the AFC and in the NFL. But this guy's really good and in the conversation for number 2. You had Joe Burrow. Most people had Joe Burrow at number 2. Joe Burrow's hurt. He's not himself. And what Josh Allen, and maybe the best thing for Josh Allen was to have that bad game against the Jets, and the noise got loud, really, really loud. And I don't know if that's what motivated him, but he's been a different dude since week 1, and he reminded you of how big and strong his arm is, and he is. And he's a lot better than people wanted to give him credit for, because they've not reached the Super Bowl and he hadn't gotten through those 2 guys in front of him, Burrow, Mahomes. But no, he's not the best, but he might be number 2.
3rd and goal.
The newcomers are showing up in a big way so far this year. Jalen Carter, Puka Nacua, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud are all making an enormous impact for their teams. So who is your rookie of the year so far after 4 weeks of action?
CJ Stroud's probably the really easy answer, and it might even be the right one. Mine's Puka Nacua. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers that young man is putting up. They're ridiculous. And you said through 4. Now, I don't know that I think it's going to stay that way all the way through, because they do get Cooper Kupp back. But he has 39 receptions, which is leading the National Football League. He is 2nd in yardage behind only Justin Jefferson at 501. He is 1st in targets, 52 targets. And I know it always goes to a quarterback, and I'm not going to be mad if it does go to CJ Stroud. But right now, 4 weeks in, it's Puka Nacua.
I want to go with Puka, but what CJ Stroud is doing for the Houston Texans has the edge. The 2nd most passing yards ever through 4 games for rookie quarterback, behind a person no one would guess, and that is Cam Newton. Had an unbelievable rookie season, just the poise, the passing, and yeah, Puka's a fantastic story. But we see CJ Stroud making a rookie Tank Dell look pretty good. Nico Collins, unbelievable day. Edge to CJ.
I don't hate that.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson all had better games last weekend. While none of these guys are going to be in the MVP conversation, they are all starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So let's play GM real quick. Start one, sit one, and cut one. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Zach Wilson.
You cut Zach Wilson, you sit Russell Wilson, and you start Justin Fields.
Yeah, start Fields, sit Russ, cut Zach. I'm not going overboard because he had one good game on Sunday Night Football. Now, I don't even know why I'm kind of rooting for the young man to get better.
Which young man?
Zach Wilson. I kind of, maybe it's a Hard Knocks thing where you got to watch it a little bit. He feels like a dude to me that got humbled, and I respect guys who mature. Right, a guy comes in, he's super cocky and love himself, says the wrong things, gets his ass kicked, he comes back to earth and worked his way back. It felt to me last night that the team rallied around him and respected him. And when I was watching guys hug him on the sidelines, and I'm all about a guy who can say, wow, I screwed up, I got to work hard to get better. And it feels to me a little bit like that's where Zach Wilson is. And it can go 2 ways, right? I mean, you come in, you're cocky, you're not very good. Where do you go? And there's a part of me that roots for that process. But in this scenario, Fields is to me better than Russ. Russ is the guy you keep. And
yeah, the thing that worries me is it was the Denver Broncos defense. Like, I actually like the game plan for Justin Fields. He won it from the pocket. They got him outside a little bit, play action game. He's throwing the football downfield, but it was against the worst defense in the NFL. And I want to believe, because that same thing for me, I look at Justin Fields, and I don't think he did anything wrong. Like, he made a bad comment last week, but he's been out there. He's been through a lot playing for a bad team, just trying to get better. And I just have a sense for that Bears offense. It's fool's gold because it was against Broncos.
I totally think that's right. And by the way, same thing with the Broncos offense. I mean, they scored 31 and had a big second half, but I don't know. Do you expect the same thing next week against the Jets?
No.
Yeah, I just think those were two really bad teams playing against each other, and it was entertaining. I don't have a problem with watching a good football team with bad, right? Were you entertained watching that game? Were you pissed off watching your team go down 28-7? How'd you guys feel? Like honestly, as Bronco fans down to that team 28-7?
At this point, it doesn't faze me. I was kind of laughing.
You know, it's so funny because I had the same feeling. Like, it no longer makes me mad. It was just comical.
Okay.
I just keep looking at Sean Payton and go, man, how can you mess this up so bad?
So,
like, the amount of stuff you were talking, taking shots, and just ran that thing into the ground worse than it was last year.
It's a real conversation. Did Sean Payton just inherit a bad team, or has he done a bad job with a mediocre roster? How much is it on him, right? And I look at it, they're not good, you guys. Like defensively, there was this whole narrative, well, the Broncos defense is good. No, they're not.
They're expensive. They're not good.
And so offensive line, I don't know that they're that good. They should have weapons, but they're never healthy at receiver. I don't know that Javonte Williams is all the way back from the knee injury as a running back. Like, I'm not a big Sean Payton guy. I think he's a pretty cocky dude to have won just one Super Bowl and think he's, I hear, they got a Hall of Fame coach and a Hall of Fame quarterback. Do they? But is it on him, or is like, did he take a mediocre roster and make them bad, or is it just a bad roster?
It's a bad roster.
I think so,
it
too.
Is, but it's historically bad defensively. And he came in, and he brought in Van Joseph.
And ran his mouth. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We haven't talked about the Eagles and Riverboat Ron. So there's a team that's sneaky decent. How about that? Sneaky decent that got beat. And I think you learned a lot about them positive in defeat yesterday. I want to talk about that next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, you're home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
Celebrate Cherry Fridays with the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a
middle tier that will contend for a playoff with Sam Howell. They got run out of the built last week in Buffalo. They got embarrassed in Buffalo. So did the Dolphins. Right? I look at Washington and I'm impressed. I think what Eric Bieniemy has done with Sam Howell is what Eric Bieniemy was brought in to do. Eric Bieniemy is auditioning now outside of the shadow of Andy Reid for a head coaching job. He's got an offense with Sam Howell that is competitive. They've got a decent defense. And they're in the conversation for a playoff spot. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think Washington is world beaters. I'm not telling you they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you they're a hell of a lot better than a lot of people think. And that they're going to be in contention for that 6th or 7th playoff spot. And I learned more about them yesterday than I did about the Eagles.
It's division football.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I wrote down. Like, this happens. when division rivals get together. What you said about the coaching staff was right. They responded. Sam Howell threw 4 interceptions and was sacked 9 times
against Buffalo. Yeah.
Against what we're figuring out is in the red zone questions, we're going to have to start putting Buffalo up there, and if they're an elite defense.
Mm-hmm.
With Washington, it's the evolution of a young quarterback. It's put him in position to succeed. And I agree. I think this has been an eye-opening experience for so many people with Eric Bieniemy. Like, why would he do that to get away from Patrick Mahomes? Because he's going to go make something out of Sam Howell. And that last drive, goes down the field, final play of the game, throws a touchdown to tie the game. Big-time stuff in a division game.
I don't know if he's their quarterback for the future. I don't know that he's not. I honestly, 4 games is such a small sample size. You start to get an idea. But I'm not ready to make long-term determinations after 4 games. But I watched this young man that everybody laughed at. Oh, they don't have a quarterback. I don't know. You know who doesn't have a quarterback? Atlanta. But I like what the Commanders are doing. I think they're nice. I think that they are every week formidable. I think going in, I mean, they get the Bears on Thursday night, right? So they go to 3-2, I think. How about the Bears having to travel on a short week, coming on? I mean, that's a tough spot. 6.5 enough for Washington on a Thursday night?
I'd take Washington with that. It's probably not enough.
I mean, the over-under is 45.
I'm immediately taking the Bears.
Are you?
Because he just took Washington.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a really good point.
Okay.
That's a
smart thing to do.
That's
right?
a really, really good point. Browns, Chargers, Seahawks, Buccaneers are on a bye next week. That means I got to play the Broncos quarterback against the Jets. Ah!
Battle of the Wilsons.
Ah!
Just what we signed up for.
Goodness gracious. All right, let me give you another one. Atlanta's got a really nice roster. And they're not going to win. Atlanta fell to 2-2. They scored 7 points in London. Desmond Ridder, 19-31, 2 interceptions, 191 yards. They've got a stud running back, a decent defense, a good receiver, a good tight end. They thought they were going to get away with a third-round quarterback in Desmond Ridder. And I told you this, I think, countless times going into the season. Atlanta can be sneaky good if their quarterback is sneaky good. I don't think he is. And I think that's going to be their downfall. Like we want to talk about all the teams going into the draft and all these really good quarterbacks in college that are coming out next year. The team that may need a quarterback the most might be Atlanta.
Yeah, that really good tight end you're talking about is Jonnu Smith, who's emerged the last 2 weeks. Kyle Pitts is non-existent. Like, stop talking about Kyle Pitts. He's a name. Probably draft him on your fantasy football team.
Okay.
It's not a part of this offense.
That's not really the issue, though.
No,
the issue
it's not the issue, but Desmond Ridder, turnovers.
You just can't. I look at that team, and I think that's a pretty good roster.
Bijan Robinson.
Drake
2
London.
thumbs up.
Drake London.
Caught a touchdown pass yesterday.
Could have almost caught another one. I think the roster's good, and where do you go? And you know what's crazy? You look at guys, you don't know where they're coming from. And that's why I gave this so much leeway in the offseason. Where did Brock Purdy? I mean, come on. Right? And by the way, he's still freaking undefeated in the regular, still never
Undefeated.
lost.
And with Atlanta, what you're discussing, Desmond Ridder just can't turn the football over. Like, the way they're constructed, Arthur Smith is, hey, we're going to run the football, play defense, squeak games out. But once you turn the football over, you got a quarterback that is below average, and you get 7 points. And it was enjoyable if you watched the Toy Story version of it.
Did you watch any of that?
Yes, I did.
I watched one series of it, and it was like, all right.
Because when you have a 4-year-old, that is how they enjoy football.
What did Austin think of that?
He's like, how is Toy Story playing football? This is great.
All right.
And they asked the questions, and I was reading them to him.
Yeah.
But what is a first down and 10 yards? Like, that's
the
really
point.
good for little kids.
All right. Yeah, I did watch a little of that. I watched one series of that. Maddie came over and like, okay, it was cute. 17, she gets the game a little bit better than your 4-year-old.
Yep.
She was at 2 games this weekend, so she kind of gets it. But I look at the quarterback situation, you don't know where they're coming from. Like, Joshua Dobbs is an NFL quarterback. That was the throw. And you think the Browns wish they had Joshua Dobbs this weekend? And we love, who's our preseason MVP? Who was our preseason most valuable player? NFL preseason. Mine was Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
I think we were pretty unanimous on that, actually.
Then he had to play regular season NFL football. How'd that go? Yeah, different. You don't know where they're coming from, man.
How about that? That was one I was not expecting. I knew there was a cue by Deshaun Watson, but if you were telling me, all right, a quarterback is going to miss this weekend with a shoulder injury, I thought it was going to be Derek Carr, not Deshaun Watson.
Can we go there? And
Derek Carr probably should have sat this week.
I think that's right. They should have played Jameis. So on the three biggest losers, I had Las Vegas. You could have put New England. Dude, New Orleans needs to figure this out. New Orleans cannot score points. And I understand that Derek Carr is hurt and probably should not have played. They're 2-2. Do you know the most amount of points they've scored in a week is? 20. They beat the Panthers 2017. They won their first game 16-15. They lost to the Packers 18-17 and lost to the Buccaneers 26-9. Like, I think the Dolphins scored more points in a half last week than they did in 4 games. And I don't think that's rhetoric. It might be. Yeah, it probably is. They got a problem, man. Now, they got Kamara back. What do you have, 16 receptions or something?
Yeah, because
stupid?
What were they doing with Derek Carr?
I got Kamara in a PPR league, by the way.
Money.
Money. He had 13 receptions. For 33 yards, he went nowhere, but I get a point per reception.
Derek Carr averaged 3.4 yards per pass.
Yeah.
What is that?
Which means to me he couldn't throw the ball down the field.
Why?
Which means he shouldn't have been playing. I don't understand it. And look, if he wasn't ready to go, sit him for a week and get him ready to go, unless it's one of those things where he's just not going to get better until you have surgery. And what are you going to do? Derek Carr was one of the most. Was there a higher profile quarterback move? Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, but after in real life, because Aaron Rodgers seems like super life. I'm still bummed Aaron Rodgers didn't go over to Taylor Swift's suite and try to, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I mean, how far away could their suites have been? They had to be on the same level, right? And they kept showing her surrounded by all her besties, Brittany Mahomes and all those. And then there's Aaron Rodgers sitting by his miserable self. I almost felt for him, dude, last night. Anyway, this was pretty high profile, right? This was going to be the guy that was all they needed. I don't know that they're done because I think their division is still gettable, and I don't think anybody's going to run away. It's Tampa Bay who's sitting at the top. But I'd be concerned if I'm them offensively, especially with his health. All right, 505-246-0610. You can get into the college stuff over the weekend. We've got Ryder Cup. Baseball playoffs are set. Baseball playoffs are now, here we go. You're in the postseason for Major League Baseball, so you can get into that as well. All that's available for you at 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, quarterback wasn't great, but they got their first win of the season. But is it going to matter? We'll get into that next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Thursday night and Sunday night and two-night football. Hey, maybe you think your neighborhood is safe from crime. Then a break-in happens way too close to home. Call IPS, International Protective Service. I did years ago. It is affordable private security that can save you money, and it's another layer of protection. Look, if you can't watch your home or business 24/7, let IPS be another set of eyes for you. They provide standing guards or 24-hour patrols. They have highly trained armed officers who respond quickly to alarms. Typically within 5 to 7 minutes of the alarm going off, they are there. It's another layer of security for you, and you get peace of mind. Police are going to take hours. There's just not enough police officers to respond to every break-in. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. I think you're going to be impressed. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
The Jim Rome.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Yep.
It's just check down city with them. But that's also why you got to let them play. You got to get confidence. Frank Reich, you handpicked this quarterback.
Yeah.
You said this is the best of this group. Bryce Young is better for me than CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. So you have to instill some confidence in this young rookie quarterback.
Jerry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I watched the Lobo game on, and I can definitely see they're improving. The only thing that they're not improving on, if JJ could check this, but I know they had 10 penalties Saturday, and it seems like they're getting about 8 to 10 penalties every game.
Problem.
And that's not the sign of a good team. Agree?
Yeah, no, it's a problem. The penalties have been a problem.
Yeah, but what I'm doing is I'm equating this with the Lobo football team. I'm equating it with the Baltimore Orioles. 2 years ago they had 100 losses. This year they're in the playoffs. I think they're coming. I really do. I I think Danny's doing a great job. I hope they give Danny a chance. He needs a few more years. The program was so bad when he took it over. It's taken a long time, and COVID, et cetera. But, he's still got some holes. But if you think about 2 or 3 years ago, when our defensive backs, every single play would be 10 yards off the line. And it was such easy pickings. It'd make a tackle, and it was automatic first down. At least our defensive backs, they're getting in there, they're competitive, so we're improving there. We're still a little small on the defensive line, which we know that, and our offensive line's getting better. We got good running backs, but we're getting there. But, Jeff, the thing that really gets me, have you been to a Lobo football game recently?
Yeah.
Sat in the stands.
No, I mean,
have you ever tried to get from point A to point B in those aisles on the east side or the west side? If you try to get down or anywhere or out of the seats and go up into that aisle, it's like a mosh pit.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So our state has these billions of dollars that they just can't spend fast enough. And, rather than putting out more electric vehicle chargers in apartments, et cetera, give us some money. It wouldn't take billions of dollars.
Yeah,
it would take millions of dollars to expand those aisleways, make it so we can get in and out, expand the concession areas, give the guy a little bit better facilities. Give him something to work with.
That's fair. Jerry, I appreciate you. And you might even be able to do both. Let me give you a couple of things on that. Facility-wise, I know there is some private money being raised. JJ, in the area of $50 to $60 million, and I believe that the state may match it 2-1. And if you have $160, $180 million to put into that stadium, and don't, you need it. I'm just going to tell you, for those of you who are telling me you don't, I'm just going to tell you do, and I'll tell you why. Football rocks this boat. I've been to, and I know you have too, I've been to facilities around this league. Everybody in this league has put into football facilities, and they've gotten better. Now, you're going to tell me about basketball. You may get left behind in basketball because of football, if that's the reason. I'm just going down the league. Hawaii, because they had to, is put into the facilities. San Diego State and Colorado State have brand new places. Fresno State is adding to it. I was at Wyoming this week. What they've done, and they've got more plans, but they're going to build a new press box. They build the Wildcatter club level. They build a brand new building. Their indoor is great. They've done great things. Boise State done great things up there. Everybody in this league is put into the facilities. UNLV's got the Raiders Stadium. You're going to tell me you don't need to, and I'm going to tell you, you just do. Whether it's crowd flow, whether it's premium seating, whether it's a press box, all of those things, you just need it. It's 2023, and you want to play college football. And you're going to tell me it doesn't matter about the product on the field, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong. Okay? It's about resources, and it just is. And you can't keep doing this the way you've done it over the years as far as resources. And the other thing about what he said about Danny, and this is going to be interesting, and I got social media, I read it, I hear it just like y'all do. Do you want to blow it up again and start over again? And I know some of you do. I know some of you just want to blow it up and start all over again. You see what happened in Colorado. Well, Deion turned it around that quick. Why can't everybody else? New Mexico State, fair enough, turned it around quickly. Comparable, but not exact comparable, but certainly, and I get it. Be careful for what you wish sometimes, and start thinking, all right, what's it going to look like? Do you want to just blow this thing up, start all over again, bring in somebody new? And I know some of you do. And if you see progress, and this can be interesting.
What's enough progress?
Well, and it's a real fair question that we're going to have to talk about over the next couple of months.
End of the season, if you're looking at
4 or 5 win team.
If that.
Yeah, if you get there, then what? Yeah, I think that's a real conversation. DC, who do I got on line 2? I'm sorry. All right, Terry. Good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Terry.
Oh. Happy Monday to you all. Quick thought, Sam Hartman, the Notre Dame quarterback, looks like he just walked out of a Just for Men commercial.
With that dark beard.
That fourth down, the Duke blitzing the whole time, and I'm no big fan of Duke, but then they fall back and let him run on that fourth down, and their whole season kind of got tossed aside because then their quarterback went down, which sorry for that kid. He was having a great year. Scott Van Pelt, quote of the week, after all the pettiness going on at the Ryder Cup, he finally said, golfers, they don't fight. And, for Dallas, running a fake extra point, maybe Belichick's washed up, but if there's somebody that can hold a grudge forever, pulling something like that, could back, if he can find any way, whether give a draft pick away or do something, that could come back to bite him. And the infamous Mac Davis at quarterback, the Grayson Allen of the NFL, is maybe someday we'll have a QB again, but it looks sad out there for the standpoint. And when I was talking to Edward at the 15-year party, we were hoping they would just hank it so maybe they'd get one of those top 2 or 3 QBs for next year. But props to Dallas. They played well. And, unfortunately, we have to suffer. We only got 6 titles in 20 years. So,
sorry about that.
Too bad. We're it's sad for us. But you guys have a great day. Take care.
Later.
Be safe.
All right. He's talking about New England. Yeah, the world's feeling bad for New England for having to go through a few bad years. Yeah, the world's feeling bad. Text line, OMG, what did Jerry just say? That Danny is doing a great job. 9-27, no conference wins in 2 years, losing twice in a row to a lesser program like NMSU, and Jerry wants Danny to have an extension. He says our opponents would love for Danny to have an extension. And again, if you this is going to be a conversation. Are they getting better? Are they getting better enough? Are they getting better quickly enough? Or do you just blow the whole thing up and start all over again?
There's people that aren't giving it till the end of the season. Like, that person's done. That person's been
right. This person, this person, this phone number's been done for a long time.
Is not going to see it.
Yeah. No, that person's been done for a long time. Yes. Text line: are people blind to Patrick Mahomes? He didn't play well last night. Yeah, they won, and he made a couple of big plays late, but they beat the Jets with Zach Wilson by 3 and could have lost just as easily. They could have. I guess. I don't know. Are you blind to what Patrick Mahomes has done? Otherwise, yeah, he didn't play well last night. It's like if you're great, you can't have an off night. He had an off night and they won.
There's nothing blind about it. If you ask me the question of who the best quarterback in the NFL is, it's still always going to be Patrick Mahomes. That doesn't mean that he's great all the time. He wasn't good last night. He was a little too lackadaisical.
I thought so.
Thought he was going to be able to do his Patrick Mahomes magic the whole time, and he needed his legs to win that game.
I would ask 5209. So, in your opinion, who's the best quarterback in the league? He wasn't the best quarterback to play. His play wasn't the best yesterday. But overall, I'm not going to let a 1 week sample change my complete mind on this thing. What I've seen over the last bunch of years and to current, I think he's still the best. Text line: your biggest fear, a new soccer stadium could get closer tonight. My biggest fear. What have I said on the show? I think the stadium, this community is going to benefit from a new soccer stadium. I think it's something that is good for the community. I didn't like, nor did, by the way, 65% of the voters, the way it was on the ballot last time. Have I ever once said I don't want to see a soccer stadium?
No, but that person thinks you're anti-soccer overall, so they're going to continue to send that text. It was, and I was with it, it was anti that plan. It was put together fast. They were trying to shove it down your throat that this is going to change downtown. And if you're not on board with this, you're stuck in the past, and this is why New Mexico can't move forward. Which I am so tired of that narrative from United fans. Like, because the city said no to a downtown stadium proposal that was rushed, that wasn't great, that was a boatload of money. That
was incomplete, that was vague.
But that's on everyone else for not seeing the future and not wanting to revitalize things. You could can that argument because it's bad and sad and makes people not want to get on board with you moving forward with this stadium.
That's right. Look, you don't see anything in elections, and anything's not fair. Very rarely do you see an election go 65-35. It's pretty overwhelming, is it not? Now, if you're going to tell me it's because of us, or according to this texter, me, man, we got a hell of a lot of power, don't we? We are pretty damn influential. Now, I'm going to guess probably not. But okay, fine. You want to give us the credit for that or the blame for that? I've never said we shouldn't have a soccer stadium. Never. I didn't like that plan. I thought it was incomplete. It was vague. It was, as you just said, rushed. It wasn't right. You're here, vote on something, give them the money, and then what are we voting on? We'll tell you later. Well, where's it going to be?
We'll give you $80 million, and we'll tell you later. This is what frustrated me too when people say you're not seeing it. Who was on board when people throw out Colorado Springs or Louisville or insert someone or other USL franchise that's done this? They've gone into these stadium proposals with a city plan. Like, it's not just the stadium and keep your fingers crossed that other people are going to go in. It was, hey, we're building this, but it's along with A, B, C, and D that's coming in. This was, hey, have a blind belief that because there's a soccer stadium there, other people are going to invest in that same area. There wasn't anything, and they couldn't lay it out. It was just, we'll tell you. Vote yes, and we'll tell you.
Well, and it was
that just because there was a soccer stadium, wherever they're going to put it downtown, that all these other businesses were going to follow them. It was hope and pray.
And it was, everybody loves this soccer team. Well, first of all, that's not true. Their core is great. Their base is great and loyal. Everybody isn't all about it. I'm not telling you there's anything wrong with it. I think what United's done is great for this community. But everybody isn't all about them. And this is...
So it's not anti-stadium, it was anti-that plan.
100%. No, 100%. Rod sent me an email. It says, it says Trevisani. It says, Jefferson, 3 OD hours is not enough. I hope we'll have time this week to talk about Peter's comments. Young people in Albuquerque need hope in the future that is provided by a new stadium. Did he say something like that? I didn't hear that. I don't know what he said. I don't know what that's in reference to, Rod. I need a little more context. All right, we'll wrap it up when we get back. I'll get you everything you need to know as you go through your Monday, including get you ready for Monday Night Football here on the Sports Animal. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday Night Football.
This is Homer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
It'll be great. Okay. Wasn't me who said no. It was 65% of the voters who said no. So if they lead the league in attendance, as did the Isotopes, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So we support minor league sports around here. I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. And sounds like there's a plan that's moving that they're going to get a stadium. I think it's going to be good for this community. What's the issue? Like, I got it. You don't like me. and my stance on that last issue. But what's your point? This one says, hard to argue that the best quarterback in the West, in the AFC, it's hard to argue that he isn't the best quarterback in the West, AFC West. But this season, without as many weapons as he's had his whole career, he's 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, with small margin wins against mediocre teams. Okay? So what are you saying? Herbert's better?
Josh Allen. Tua.
Okay. They got better numbers this year.
But isn't that impressive? Is that naming one wide receiver you're starting from Kansas City?
Over who? I mean, you taking Rashid Rice or Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Kadarius Toney and starting him over who? Put him on Miami? Yeah, you're not.
That's why I just believe in Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. He hasn't played great, but to me, he's still the best in the game.
Oh, and they're what, 3-1? Yeah. All right, what do you need to know as you go through your day? James Harden is still seeking a trade.
Yeah, because he's watching everyone else get traded. He's like, "What about me?"
Yeah.
Drew Holiday to Boston.
How about that?
Massive.
What did the Blazers get in return? By the way, that happened over the weekend too.
More picks. Got Malcolm Brogdon. They got the Time Lord Robert Williams.
Okay.
So I guess they're going to play 2 centers in Ayton and Williams.
All right. Yeah, the Celtics are loaded now.
That was a massive addition.
So the Celtics and the Bucks.
Who feels better? The Bucks with Dame or Boston with Drew Holiday?
Well, with Drew Holiday to go with Porzingis and the two guys that they already got.
And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice. Celtics sent Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2024 first pick that they got from Golden State, and their 2029 first round pick. I mean, 2029. Like, who's going to be around for this deal? Any of the people, coaches, GMs, anybody?
No one.
They're like, whatever, man. We'll screw somebody later in life. I don't even care. No, seriously, isn't that how that works? Who the hell cares? Here, take our 2029 pick. Give me the All-Star. Like, I care what's happening in 2029. Some kid in college is going to be running this team right now. Who cares? All right, you get Monday Night Football tonight. Seattle and the Giants. Who you got tonight?
Seattle.
2.5 points, Seattle.
So go against me, DC.
Yeah, what do you want, DC? We take, because I'm going against you. Whatever you got. What do you got?
I like Seattle.
You laying the 2.5?
That's kind of where I start to question it, but yeah, I probably would.
Damn it, take it. I want Seattle, but I can't go with you.
Smart money.
You
says
know
go
your
the other
stuff,
way.
man. You just can't bet. And it's a good thing. Tell your wife there's a reason you don't bet, right? Honey, I'm 2-11.
That's all it takes. 2-11.
You're due.
It was funny. Her uncle, he called me out on that this last weekend that, I only have one pick. And I was like, yeah, you better be going the other way.
I'm winning you money. Listen to me.
How do you
listen
not?
to JJ? He knows.
How do you not? Pittsburgh's quarterback, Kenny Pickett, hurt knee. He hurt it on a 4th down play. Mitchell Trubisky came in. Can this be a blessing in disguise for them this year? Can Mitchell Trubisky kind of ignite them? Because their offense has been horrible. No? That ship sailed?
There's a lot more issues than just Kenny Pickett for that offense.
All right. Javonte Williams, running back, Broncos, 4 games into his redemption, right? He had the knee injury. 2 carries, 0 yards, left with a hip injury. Get to know Jaleel McLaughlin. Thank you to Danny Gonzalez. He was with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd will follow that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. Monday Night Football here on your home for the National Football League, the sports animal. Giants, Seahawks. Adrian, good work. Looks good on the TV side. DC, good to have you back after one day off. You had the Boston here the other day. He was thrilled to be here, by the way. It was good. It was really good. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, enjoy it. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio. I think we'll start somewhere around 7 a.m. What do you say? Good with that? All right. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one.
Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.